Awesome. What is going on, everyone? I'm here once again, Keaton Hargett hosting the ProbsCast here with one of the newest Cowboys that we're having. I'm super excited to have you on, man. Go ahead, take it away, man. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Alan Bowman, transferred here from Michigan and previously Texas Tech to play quarterback here at Oklahoma State, and I could not be more excited to be here. The town's been awesome, and I'm real excited.
Yeah, man. You've had like one heck of a story, honestly. Like it was kind of crazy watching you ping around. I had a lot of my friends go to Texas Tech. I actually think you might know one of them, Eric Ezukama.
Yeah,
We went to the same high school. So he was like my little claim to fame. I used to play football with him out in the street, and then
he's killing it in the Dolphins right now.
Yeah, man. Like
boys, yeah, my gosh, he's a good
yeah,
player.
he's a hell of a player. You had
Oh.
some great receivers over at Texas Tech.
Yeah, I've been lucky to be partnered with some of those guys, especially Eric's probably the best one. My God, and Antoine Wesley played pretty well too. He's in the Cardinals, so. But we got some dogs here now. I'll tell you that much. We got some dogs here. So
yeah, you're 100% right. And Texas Tech and Oklahoma State are like very similar in my opinion. Both claim, Michael Crabtree, Justin Blackman. That rivalry is never going to end. And the wide receiver rooms that they've had between the two of them have just been incredible, like through the years. So, I mean, when you left Texas Tech and then you went to Michigan, like ultimately, what made you come to Oklahoma State?
So the number one thing that I was looking at was the best fit for me and to be able to play, right? It was going to be my 6th year of college football. And the funniest thing, what always brings up in my mind when I think about this is most people that play 6 or 7 years, like a Stetson Bennett or like a Hendon Hooker, played 7 years, is they were kind of nobodies or like a walk-on, come in and then kind of have to develop 2 or 3 years, maybe go to a JUCO, then come back. And then they kind of jump on the scene year 5, 6, 7. Crazy thing about my story is that I was on the scene immediately as a true freshman in 2018. Yeah. And as my buddies like to remind me, I was putting up numbers before Joe Burrow was even at LSU putting up numbers. And here I am, and Joe Burrow's doing what he's doing. So it's just kind of a different situation where most guys come on later in their career and play 6, 7 years. And where I sort of came on the scene hot, went through some injuries, went through some coaching changes, went through some battling with different changes of schools. And then now I'm back, right? And so I think it's just a different way to do it. And so what ultimately brought me to Oklahoma State was just the culture that, I mean, there's just been so many things. It was like normally it's kind of like when you're like kind of finding a girlfriend or like finding a girl, like when you know. And when me and my dad left Stillwater for the first, it was like, it's not even close. We got to come here. But the couple top reasons why Oklahoma State just fits so well was the offense is huge, right? So we are turning it a little bit different on the offense, but Oklahoma State is known for throwing the ball down the field, big, tall receivers, and putting up a lot of points. That is what I love, number one, and I've been able to do at a high level at Texas Tech. Also, now another kink in what we're trying to do on offense is we want to take care of the football. We want to establish a run game. We want to get under center a little bit. We want to get in different personnels and different packages and go and be able to play action people. And guess what I just did for the past 2 years? I did all of that at Michigan. So they're like, hey, we want to throw it a lot, but then we also want to take care of the ball and go under center. And I'm like, well, guess what? I'm your guy. And it just, that was kind of the best like conjoining of forces there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know this is the first time we've ever talked, which is like really cool because, I was used to being in Stillwater for so long until I graduated last year. And I was friends with a lot of the athletes. And people would ask me all the time, like how I got on such big guys. And I was like, dude, I was always on the strip, and anytime they went out, I was gonna go up and buy a drink or whatever. But do you feel like going into Texas Tech, do you have like a little bit of a revenge, or hell, even TCU, which is like all behind me, but like do you feel like that chip on your shoulder? Well, my stepdad's in the Hall of Fame for TCU. A lot of my family played college football and pro football, and I'm not athletic, so I have a podcast. So
nice. But you got I see the pokes. We got some pokes right in front of the helmet too, so that's great. Pokes are up front. All that matters. So
But do you feel like you're going into like the Texas Tech? I mean, we don't get to play them this year unless they make the Big 12 championship as
I
well.
know that's one thing that I was just real upset when the schedule came out, that especially being from Dallas and being from Texas, to not play TCU, to not play Baylor, to not play UT, to not play Texas Tech. That kind of hurt in a way where that kind of alarm. Do my assignments for class, stay in school, kids.
Even better.
So the difference, like, it hurt me because I really wanted to go. Because normally, I mean, Oklahoma State's played Texas Tech for like 25 years straight, and then it's home and away every other year, and we would have gone into Lubbock. And I feel like that, just like for TV ratings, for atmosphere, for the fans, for everybody, for us to kind of like, I hate to bring the name up, but Baker Mayfield-esque, kind of going back into Lubbock. I was really excited for that. I feel like that would have been a really cool experience, not only for me, but for like the whole team to kind of go back into that. So, and then especially teams like TCU, right? Grew up in Dallas. That's 20 minutes from my house. We grew up in the same area, me and you. So it's kind of bummed, but hopefully one of them makes the Big 12 championship and we'll meet them there, and then we'll get the revenge then.
Yeah, the Big 12 kind of like, well, we got one Texas school, and that one last Texas school that we have is Houston. And man, you 605 yards you threw?
Yeah, so that was my true freshman year. We had kind of a crazy whirlwind the first like 4 or 5 games. I'll tell a funny story. I don't know if this is true or not, but crazy how life's happened. I think life, and especially in college football, but just in life, is just about taking advantage of opportunities that are given to you when the opportunity arises. So my true freshman year is going into the first game of the season. We had a senior quarterback that played a couple games the year prior, but not much. And then it was myself and the guy named Jet Duffy. And we were like sort of splitting the backup reps going into that game. But sorry to say this, Jet, love you, but he was late to the bus to leave we were missing the first game. He was late to the bus. And so I guess that like put me maybe a little bit ahead. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit ahead. And I mean, I'm sitting there talking, which is hilarious, to Eric Izukadma from your high school on the sideline, like, wow, man, like this is our first college football game. Like we've dreamed of this. Like how crazy is this? Like we're really here, like suited up on the sideline. And I mean, not even 45 seconds later, our starting quarterback breaks his ankle and they're like, Bowman, get warm. And I'm like, and like reality hits so fast. And I think and I ended up going in the game, and we were playing Ole Miss with like DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, Dawson Knox, Jordan Teamu, Greg Little, like all the freaks, right? Yeah. And I think what helped me the most is I didn't have time to like freak out about it, of like, oh my gosh, like, you know what I mean? If I would have had to like had the whole preseason lead up and then like the whole game week as like a 17 just turned 18-year-old kid, I probably would have freaked out a little bit, but I didn't have time. It was like, all right, you get about 3 throws and then you're going against 3rd and 5, go. So got thrown in the game then, and then the next game it was like 77-0 or something against Lamar, and then we had Houston at home, and we beat them the year prior, and Coach King was really good schematically and kind of knew what we did the year prior, what they were going to try to stop. And it was just one of those perfect storm games where the offense was hot, we were blocking everything, and I mean, no one could stop us. But it was a classic Texas Tech shootout, which I know we're not going to have to worry about here because we play some defense. So, but at Texas Tech, it was a shoot. I think it was like 63-56 or something like that. But no, Antoine Wesley, the guy that I said previous, went for like 250 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. So 605 yards was crazy. It was nuts. That was a fun one though.
Yeah, I remember seeing that stat line. I was talking some shit on Twitter. I don't know if you follow me, but very storied account. And someone was like from Texas Tech was like, "Oh, Alan Bowman did throw for 605 yards," and I was like, "No way!" And I had to like go through your full stat line after that because I was like, "That's a ridiculous stat." But following that game, by the way, my freshman year at Oklahoma State was 2018.
There you go.
And everyone was hyped up about the Texas Tech game, and then you came in and beat us for the first time since 2009.
Yeah,
I mean, was that just like a roller coaster?
So everything happened so fast, right? So like I said, from me saying Bowman get warm against Ole Miss in week 1 to week 4 coming into Stillwater, it's like there's so much things. I was a nobody. I wasn't that highly recruited out of high school. Coming in, nobody knew my name. I just came in and had a really, really, my high school coach, Coach Bishop. I mean, we pretty much ran the same offense that Texas Tech did. So it was real seamless to kind of go through progressions and move into and play well early. And then to come in and to play in this atmosphere, which I'll never forget. I mean, there is nothing than Stillwater under the lights. I'm telling you, in prime time, Big 12 matchup. It is tough to beat. But yeah, we were just on a roll, and we were confident, and we believed in what the coach's kind of game plan we had, and it was a lot of fun coming in. I feel bad that I've done our team so dirty, but hopefully, I feel comfortable in Boone Pickens Stadium. So if that everybody, I feel comfortable playing there, and so.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And so, okay, so you had that great relationship with Cliff Kingsbury. He ended up splitting, which, by the way, the similarities between Oklahoma State are there too, with Cliff Kingsbury being a good-looking dude who used to be a quarterback at Texas Tech, and Mike Gundy, who's a good-looking dude, used to be a quarterback. Like, it's ridiculous how similar it is. But what was the deal? I know that with the coaching change, everything like that, but why'd you choose to go to Michigan out of both places?
Yeah, so there's a lot of growth in 6 years of college football. I kind of showed up as a boy and as a kid and made a lot of mistakes. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't say I was the best leader or teammate or player as a 18-year-old true starting freshman quarterback. I had to learn a lot about myself, and I think those two injuries, which we can get into we can backtrack to, but having two collapsed lungs in the hospital for 11 nights, broken collarbone the next year, sprained ankle the year after that, head coaching change, right? So it's a lot of – I felt that I could still throw the ball at the highest level in the highest league in the country and still believe that. And 2.5 years ago, I felt I could play. I've thrown for 605 yards. I've thrown for 5 touchdowns in the game and stuff like that. But it's also like I saw a dream and I wanted to play at the pinnacle of what our sport is. And Coach Harbaugh called me and gave me a shot. And I didn't want him to say, hey, you're going to come be our starter. All I wanted was, hey, I want a chance to come and compete and start. And I wanted to play at the biggest school I could because I felt that I could go in there even behind guys having to go in and compete. I wasn't scared, right? And I was quickly humbled with my decision when I showed. Another thing is, this is another thing that I know I'm kind of getting off track here, but
no, you're good.
So my dad played football at Penn State, and I grew up a Penn State football fan. And sadly, my sisters played soccer at Oklahoma, and so that's the only school you've gone to. And your only school you've gone to is Oklahoma State. And so now it's like weird for me because, right, this is like my third school, and I want to be able to give everything to every school I go to, but it's hard because like I know even as fans, it's like, well, I used to root against him. Why do I need to root for him now? And so I felt as I'm not going to end a chapter I'm not going to leave or end a chapter without ending the book, right? So I decided to stay that last semester at Texas Tech and graduate with my undergrad degree, which hindered me a little bit because I ended up missing that first spring ball at Michigan. And I showed up in the summer. So just to explain a little bit of difference is Texas Tech, an entire play call, which is fine because we're really fast and we throw it a lot. But an entire play call would be like Ace 95 would be like one call. And like I ran that play in high school. So obviously the transition from high school to Texas Tech was very easy. Now the transition from Texas Tech to Michigan was a completely different ballgame, which I was not prepared for. And especially missing out on spring and showing up in June. And then 8 weeks later, trying to be the starting quarterback at a national championship title contender every year was like the play calls we called 3 plays at one time. The play calls the font is so small in the wristband, you can't even like read it. I would read the wrong line and get yelled at. And so, and just the footwork's different. So, and it makes sense as why Patrick Mahomes, right? So Patrick Mahomes was drafted in the first round, came out of Texas Tech, was in Coach Kingsbury's spread offense, and then kind of had to take a year behind Alex Smith at the Chiefs to sit there and like, okay, this is how you command a huddle. I didn't know, like, seriously, I did not know showing up that you had to enter the huddle from the side of your sideline. Which which kind of makes sense, but like nobody ever told me that because I'm from the DFW area where we throw the ball a lot, Texas high school football, and we're no huddle, and I was never no huddle, right? Or how to take a knee and call a play and have it memorized to where you can like look the center and the receivers in the eyes and being able to have conversation with, hey, it's 3rd and 2 now. I need you guys hunker down. Let's go. We need to get 2 yards. All right, here's the play. Just such different level of like intelligence for the game that I just hadn't learned. And so I had 2 left feet going into fall camp. And then after that, Cade took off. We won the Big Ten championship. Cade transfers. JJ comes in, 5-star. We win the Big Ten championship again. And I was kind of just like, oh my gosh, like what just happened? I blinked and I'm like the 3rd string, the backup some weeks, 3rd string some weeks, got in, you know what I mean? And so, but then again, another thing is I want to finish the chapter I started. So I ended up finishing with my master's degree from the University of Michigan with a master's in supply chain management. So it's kind of a long, weird way, but I just feel, to answer your question short term, is I had the confidence to go play wherever in the country. When I had a dream when I took it, and I left with 2 Big Ten championship rings and a master's degree, and then also learned how to take care of the football, learned how to lead a huddle, learned how to do under center footwork, which we're putting in now here at Stillwater.
Yeah, no, and that makes a lot of sense. And dude, you have a hell of a story. I mean, even going with your sister going and playing soccer at OU, now you're primetime enemy number 1 of the center, and then your enemy of your father, he football at Penn State. I mean, man, I totally get it. And a lot of my family played college football. It's not just my stepdad. My grandfather played at Baylor. My grandfather's in the Hall of Fame for baseball and basketball at Ohio State. Like when I tell you I'm not athletic, I mean I'm not athletic. But when it comes to like, you come to Stillwater and everything, I know that you said like the game plan and everything like that. Is it true that you didn't even like go look at the facilities? You just went straight into the film room?
Yeah. So I've come to realize as recruiting, I'm not like most. It was like I said, I strictly wanted to make sure that the coaches fit, the coaches liked me, and that I could fit with the coaches. And I'll tell you this right now, Coach Rattay is I haven't been, like I said, I've been coached by Coach Harbaugh, Coach Kingsbury, some really, 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 really high end quarterback minds. He's the best. I'm serious. For specific quarterback coaching and development from day in and day out, Coach Rattay, it's been unbelievable, the development that I've even had, and even the entire room from when I showed up in January to where we are now as an entire room, how much we've elevated with this new offense, how much he pours into us every meeting has been really great. But basically that was the things that I wanted to be able to do was, hey, do I mesh with the coaches? Does the offense fit right? And will I be able to play? There's no facility in that, because at the end of the day, at a level in the Big 12, the facilities are pretty much all going to be the same. I already know what the weight room is going to look like, or I already know everything. And I don't really care about that. I really didn't. I really didn't care. And I knew I was actually visiting Baylor. We pulled into Waco, and my offensive coordinator at Michigan called me and said, hey, I just got off the phone with Coach Dunn. I think it's a really good fit. You need to go. And so I call Coach Dunn, and I think this is like Saturday. And I'm like, hey, we're driving up through Waco. We're going to stay here, do an official visit for 2 days. And then can we show up to Stillwater on Monday? And he's like, yeah, well, the recruiting closes on Sunday. Like, we won't be able to see you. And so I'm sitting with my dad, and we have like a two day thing planned, like dinner and do all the stuff in Waco with my dad. And I pretty much look at my dad. I go, yeah, we got to go. We're going to do it. Like, we have to do it. And so we walked up to the coach and said, hey, you got 6 hours with us here. And all we did was watch film there. And then we drove to probably, I think we got in a hotel at like Moore, Oklahoma. We drove till at 1:45 in the morning. Woke up, said, hey, all right, we're here. Can you meet us tomorrow at like 11 a.m. In Stillwater? I don't want to see anything. We just need to go over film. So yeah, we spent about 4.5 hours in the film room. And I immediately, like I said, as soon as we left, it was like, just because I've been in enough meeting rooms and with enough time with your coaches, and to realize kind of what that was just an escalated position meeting with Coach Rattay. And me and him meshed really well. And the offense was I was just excited, right? I haven't had that feeling where it's like, oh my gosh, like, can the season come already? Because we're about to roll. You know what I mean? I was just like more excited than I've ever been.
No,
but yes,
that makes sense.
That's 5 hours and just chopped it and watched film.
Yeah, I've been down to Waco a couple times, and I think their campus is really pretty. I'm not the biggest fan of Waco personally.
There's not much there. People say there's not much in Stillwater, but I'm not a big fan of Waco either. I like Stillwater a lot better.
Yeah, I learned to like Stillwater a lot more. And we're from the same area, and I remember one of the first times I was in Stillwater, I was talking to this girl, and I said, what's your opinion of Stillwater? And she was from some three population town in Oklahoma. She's like, it's massive. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I was at Sports Clips down the road in Stillwater, and I was talking to this lady who's like from the middle. I forget the town. I wish I would have remembered it. It's Yale.
Okay,
Yale,
yeah, I know Yale.
Right? Smaller. Yeah.
Put them on the map.
I just moved into Stillwater, and like everybody in Stillwater is so rich. Everyone has so much money in Stillwater. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm coming from like driving down Highland Park, like to Dallas.
Yeah.
Like, like, what do you like the house? But it's just like the mentality of it, or like, yeah, it's so big. Like there's so much things to do. But no, I mean, it's been great. And Stillwater's awesome. The restaurants have been great. The people are just even better. And it's in the summer now. So like all the students are kind of gone. So I wouldn't say it's not that busy. So it's just kind of like us townies is what we're called, I guess, that live here all year round.
You're confirming yourself as a townie right now for Stillwater.
Yeah, so that's me. I'm one of them. You know what I mean? I'm a resident year round. So I ain't going nowhere. Awesome. I live here and I stay here. So
I had the mayor of Stillwater, Will Joyce, on my podcast 2 years ago. I took a year off. I was living out in Florida, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But having you on I was living in Daytona. I was working for NASCAR.
Oh, that's not. Who's your favorite driver?
It was Ross Chastain. I mean, it's still technically is. Were you a NASCAR fan?
Yeah, my grandparents were huge NASCAR fans. I was a Denny Hamlin guy, and then Austin Dillon, huge Austin Dillon guy. Bobby Labonte was huge for my sisters, and Texas Motor Speedway we'd always go. So, but yeah, nothing like. I mean, at Texas Motor Speedway, you can bring like a huge Yeti cooler for free. You bring any cooler in you want, right?
Yeah, BYOB at all the tracks. Yeah,
it's like unbelievable, And isn't it true that like NASCAR merchandise sells more than like every other professional sport?
Every single one. It's the coolest merchandise you'll ever see. Yeah. That, to my knowledge, that's what I got told. I've done zero research.
I want to go to Talladega. I heard it gets.
We're going to get you your PhD through everything when everything's said and done, and I'll hook you up with some Talladega.
For real. I'm getting my second master's degree. I'm going to have 3 degrees, maybe a real estate license by the time we're all done with college. So
you're going to get 3 degrees and then a real estate license? I know people who just have a real estate license.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. As long as you keep graduating you can keep playing in this day and age. So I saw a dude from Oregon got like 9 years eligibility. So we're going to try to. We're going to try. Hopefully, if you guys want me, I'm going to try to stay for as long as I can. But
that makes a lot of sense. My senior prom was at Texas Motor Speedway, so I'm pretty sure that's the reason I got the job. But it was cool, and I loved living out in Florida. I got to go to FSU game, things like that, man. And I'm a diehard college football guy. So in general, I was just happy to be out there. But they didn't talk a whole lot about Oklahoma State out there, and I was like, man, I don't really care to be out here anymore. And I was an hour away from Orlando. I was kind of hyped for that game, but ultimately, God led my path back this way, and I felt a lot better that I could, hang out with you and things like that. Now, another question I had, and it was a very popular question that my friends, because I had to prep myself because I was like, I need some sporadic questions.
Mm-hmm.
Max, we talked a little bit earlier about this, but Max Duggan, right? Great quarterback. His path was a little funky, but redhead, DFW area, Heisman finalist, right? Andy Dalton, redheaded quarterback. I mean, do you think you're ever going to be able to compare yourself to one of those guys eventually?
Yeah, so I have been called.
I mean, we're looking at the next big redhead quarterback.
No, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's hard to play quarterback with redhead and not be called the Red Rocket. That's definitely one of the many nicknames that goes around the facility. And I would say I am a ginger for sure, and we were talking about this earlier. My hair, you can't really see it, kind of a little bit. Where's my,
Oh no, I can tell.
it's a strawberry blonde esque, and in the summer it gets blonder. But then when those November games, she'll be red. It'll be red out there, and it'll be good. But yeah, no, I definitely want. I mean, just to be in line, those two quarterbacks are absolute studs. And so to kind of not lead the way, but kind of follow suit behind those two redheadeds, I would not mind to be in the same conversation as those two. So how about and I feel like my hair is literally orange. Like it's not even red. Like you'll see.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we'll get out there in the sun on Saturday on September 2nd. We'll be up there like, okay, yeah, my hair is gonna match the dang jersey. So
yeah, no, and I think we're all hyped about that.
You know,
especially with the new uniforms that just had come out.
Yeah, those are sweet. What do you think about them?
I'm like hand over fist the biggest fan. Actually, 2018, we brought him back for the Texas game when Tom Herman tried to fight Mike Gundy. That was intense. That was one of the greatest college football games I've been to. Which, obviously we're around the 25-minute mark, but I gotta know. Obviously Bedlam is coming to an end. We don't know when the next one will be played. Did you watch any of the highlights from the 2021 Bedlam?
Oh yeah, I mean, what electric game! My gosh, unbelievable.
I've been to some big football games.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I got the chills just talking about it.
Right.
If I'm telling you to like, there was going to be, I'm freaking out even to say I cannot wait. I cannot wait to be a part of that. And if I'm out there on the field to send off Oklahoma into the SEC the right way, which is with the loss, I think would be legendary just for the team for 2023 and for Oklahoma State for a while. So hopefully I don't think it's the end of Bedlam forever, but for the time being, to get it at home and to have homecoming the week before, it's going to be an amazing 2 weeks in Stillwater. And that I haven't experienced yet. So I'm going to be experiencing it with everybody else. But obviously you're going to get everything I got from me and everything I got from our team. And I think we're going to do really, really well. And I can't wait for the season.
Oh, dude, I'm beyond hyped, and I'm super excited that you came on. I feel like a lot of people had a lot of questions going into this, and I was excited whenever we snagged you from the transfer portal, because as soon as they said your name, I was like, that's the kid who made me real upset back in 2000.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of new faces, right? And you guys, that's okay. We're all a family now. It's okay.
I've only heard good things.
Yeah. So. And I think it's going to be a more anticipated year than previous years. Number one, because Spencer leaving, we don't have to talk about that. That's just facts, right? Spencer's gone.
He's a good friend of mine.
So Spencer's gone. So that's obviously going to be some anticipation. And then a lot when we brought in 25, 27 new guys from the portal, right? So just there's a lot of new faces and names that haven't been on the field on Boone Pickens Stadium. So people got to, okay, are we what are we doing? Is this the best idea for us? I know we're kind of a loyal fan base and a loyal team that take care of our players, but I'm obviously going to have to come in and embrace these new guys that are coming in. And I think there's been nothing but the best and nothing but respect and class from everybody that we've been around. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of new faces. So hopefully everybody can come out there and cheer, and it might be a new look, but I do think it's going to be a really good look. And we're still going to score a lot of points and play some good defense, but I cannot wait. It's going to be really, really fun.
Dude, you're one hell of a dude, man. You come out with a lot of energy, and I really appreciate your time coming on.
No doubt. Go Pokes.
Go Pokes, man.